So tomorrow the playoffs for MLB, Major League Baseball, officially start for the 2021 season. And unlike last year, we are going to have some crowds. Now I know some people would say, well, didn't we have some crowds last year? To an extent, but not really. And the structure of the playoffs last year were a little bit more different because of COVID. This year, however, it's kind of back to normal. And I think this might be the last year that we have it the way it's structured, because there is rumors going around that we're going to probably get another additional wild card game for both leagues starting next year or in the foreseeable future. Now, the postseason picture as it's set up on MLB's website pretty much gives us an idea of exactly how things are going to be structured. And I have it right here as well. I'm going to scan this to use this as a thumbnail for this here, for this video anyway. But this is how it works out, and this is how it's scheduled basically, mostly based on the wild cards. This is how the rest of the playoff picture is set up. So basically this is the bracket, as they call it. This is the bracket basically of the entire postseason. This is how it goes. On the American League side, you got Boston, hosting the New York Yankees. So you got a rivalry game, one of the oldest in Major League Baseball history, kicking off the playoffs. And I will admit, very appropriately, because if you're going to get eyes on the playoffs, the Major League Baseball playoffs, the first ones in about a year that are going to be normal, or at least decently normal, with crowds and everything, that, if you're going to kick it off right, you might as well kick it off with two of the most legendary long-term teams in MLB history that have had a rivalry since the late 1800s, if you will, late 1890s and all that. Now, that's the wild card on Tuesday. That's the wild card game there, the Yankees and the Red Sox. On Wednesday, you got the St. Louis Cardinals going up against the LA Dodgers in LA. And that's a decent way to continue the playoffs to see who advances. Both teams have been in the playoff picture for most of their run and all that, most of their existence. So it's nice to kind of start it off with them, if you will, and to see who advances in the playoffs to get to the divisional round. Now, speaking of the divisional round, this is basically who is in that round. This is who's in that round, if you will. So, as far as the American League goes, in the ALDS, you have Tampa Bay, who's seeded number 1 because they have the best record in the American League. They will host the first 2 games before going on the road against this team, or whoever it is. They will host the winners of the ALWC, the American League wildcard game, between Boston and New York. So whoever wins on Tuesday has to play again on Thursday, another, I guess, best of 7 series, I think. A best of 7 series or best of 5 series. Let me check that real quickly. But basically starting Thursday, they got to do it looks like basically, I'm trying to check here. Yeah, it looks like it's a best of 5 series. So whoever wins between the Red Sox and the Yankees will travel to Tampa Bay to play on Thursday against the Rays. And that'll be on Thursday and I believe Friday. And then they get a break, and then on Sunday, the Rays will travel to either Boston or New York. So that's how it works out there. The other ALDS game, which doesn't require a wild card winner to to be part of until probably next year. The other one is between the Chicago White Sox and the Houston Astros. Houston is ranked seeded number 2. The White Sox are seeded number 3. The Red Sox and the Yankees, the Red Sox are 4 and the Yankees are 5. That's why they're in the wild card to see who goes to face Tampa Bay. But the other 2 higher seeds, 3 and 2, the White Sox will face the Houston Astros, and that will start on Thursday as well. So the ALDS, the American League Playoffs, start, or the divisional series playoffs, or the divisional round of the playoffs starts on Thursdays for the American League. So this is how it goes. So this is how the structure for the American League's trip to the World Series goes. You got the winner of the Red Sox and the Yankees tomorrow going to Tampa Bay and facing them on Thursday in a best out of 5 series. You got the White Sox at the Astros for a best out of 5 series, and then the winner of those series will face each other in the ALCS. So, the way that will work is if Tampa Bay goes to the ALCS, which I'm pretty sure they're favored to do, and then let's say, for example, let's say, for example, the White Sox, who are number 3, get to the ALCS, then the White Sox will have to come to Tampa Bay, or have to go to Tampa Bay to start the best of 7 there. The same with Houston. The White Sox and the Astros, if Tampa Bay beats Boston or New York in the best out of 5 divisional round, for them, then they will host either the Astros or the White Sox. Now, that may all change, because if the Red Sox or the Yankees beat Tampa Bay in a best out of 5, then they will travel to either Chicago or Houston for the best out of 7 ALCS. So what the White Sox and the Astros have to watch for and cheer for is for either the Red Sox or the Yankees, depending on who wins tomorrow, to beat the Rays, for one of them to be able to at least host the American League Championship Series, at least the first 2 games of it. So yeah, basically that's how it's structured. That Tampa Bay right now being number 1, pretty much getting to the World Series, you got to go through Tampa Bay. You got to play the first 2 games of the ALDS and the ALCS in Tampa Bay just to get to the World Series. And right now, and like I'm trying to say, and I'm a little tired a little bit. I didn't get that much sleep last night, or at least I tried to, but it was warm for some reason. But like I said, right now, that seemingly is the directive. That's the path the American League has to go through. Everything goes through Tampa Bay. Now, like I said, if the Red Sox or Yankees, depending on who wins tomorrow, beats Tampa Bay, then the trip to the World Series will go through either Chicago or Houston. So, again, if you're an Astros fan or a White Sox fan, you're cheering for the Red Sox or the Yankees to beat the Rays in the divisional round, so that your team can be the one that hosts the first 2 games and the last 2 games of the American League Championship Series. Now, on the National League side, again, you got St. Louis going to LA on Wednesday for that wild card. And then on Friday, you have the National League Divisional Series beginning. And just like everything right now, and this could change, right now goes through Tampa Bay because they're seeded number 1. The same goes for San Francisco in the playoffs. That's right. Basically, if you're on the National League side of things, everything from the National League side of things, to get to the World Series, as of right now, just like everything on the American League side goes through Tampa Bay, as of right now, all the things on the National League side goes through San Francisco. And again, just like with Chicago and Houston, if you're an Atlanta or Milwaukee fan, you're going to hope for LA or St. Louis to beat San Francisco so that your team can host the National League Championship Series in their stadium, the first 2 games and the last 2 games, basically, of the Championship Series, because it's the best out of 7. But this is how it goes. On Wednesday, you got the ALWC. You got not the AL, but you got the NLWC between LA and St. Louis. The winner of that will go to San Francisco to start the divisional series on Friday. And that will be both Friday and Saturday. And then Monday it will resume with the Giants being either in St. Louis or LA. Now, just like the White Sox and the Astros, Atlanta and Milwaukee, they don't have to worry about, some kind of wild card team to face them, basically, because, they're going to be in the automatic divisional round. So Atlanta will go to Milwaukee. And that also will start on Friday and continue on to Saturday and then continue on Monday. Well, not Monday, but continue on Monday is what I'm trying to say. It'll continue on Monday. Now, the way it's structured here is right now, as I said, a lot of the opportunity to try to get to the World Series goes to San Francisco. So right now, the way it's structured is either the winner of the San Francisco LA or San Francisco St. Louis game will face the winner of the Atlanta Milwaukee game or series, if you will, best out of 5 in the National League Championship Series. Now, if San Francisco wins, if they beat LA and St. Louis, then they will host the first two, Game 1 and Game 2, and Game 6 and 7, possibly, if necessary, of the National League Championship Series. And that would be against either Atlanta or Milwaukee. Now, again, if you're a Milwaukee fan or an Atlanta fan, you're hoping and rooting for the Dodgers or the Cardinals to beat San Francisco so that your team, either the Braves or the Brewers, will be the ones that host the first 2 games and possibly Game 6 and 7, if necessary, of the National League Championship Series. So that's basically how things are structured on the National League side. Just like in the American League side, as of right now, a lot of things possibly go through Tampa Bay. Same thing on the National League side. A lot of things will go through San Francisco. But, again, like I said, if you're a Braves or Brewers fan, you're hoping for either the Dodgers or the Cardinals to beat San Francisco in the best of 5 divisional series so that either one of your teams will be the ones that host the championship series to get to the World Series itself. And the same goes, like I said, for basically the White Sox and the Astros. If you're a fan of either one of those teams, you're cheering for the Yankees or the Red Sox to beat the Rays. Now, right now, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are thinking, well, you got number one. It's logical those two are going to face each other in the World Series. And that is, the most logical direction to go with. But we can't forget that a lot of these teams have a history on both sides of the spectrum of really picking it up and being the team they should have been throughout the entire regular season. And that's basically a team that seemingly is unbeatable. And the thing is, LA has a history of doing that. St. Louis does. New York Yankees do. Boston does. These are teams that have a history. San Francisco has that history too. But when it's teams that you don't think, seed-wise, have the potential of making it, that's when you could be proven wrong. That's when you'll be proven wrong. So, as far as who would get to the World Series, well, being in the Bay Area, of course, I would be favoring the San Francisco Giants, to get there and become champions once again. There's no doubt. Just like I'd be cheering for the Oakland A's. However, because of the fact that I've come to the realization that, sometimes politics and inside jobs, I know it sounds like a conspiracy, but inside jobs kind of play a role in how things are structured in these playoffs, these postseasons. As much as I would love the Giants to do it, I can't put anything past either LA to get to that point, or even, let's say, Atlanta to get to that point, as far as the National League goes. And the same goes with the American League. Even though right now it favors Tampa Bay to go all the way, if New York gets in, or Boston gets in, don't put anything past any political or inside jobness to make sure the Yankees or the Red Sox get to that point. I'm just saying. With the history of how things are when it comes to postseasons, you never know. But yeah, right now it looks like everything is on both sides. Everything's going to go through Tampa Bay and San Francisco to try to get to the World Series. That's how it's structured, but we'll see what happens. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on the MLB playoffs? Who do you think is going to go all the way? Do you think we'll get number one against number one, Giants and Rays, or do you think we'll get something different? Do you think we'll get something kind of old school and traditional? Do you think politics behind the scenes, inside job-wise, will play a part? What are your thoughts? Comment down below. Love to hear from each and every one of you. Live chat during the video and the premiere. Comment down below. Like the video. Check me out at my Teespring store, as well as check me out at BW Rose's discussions on all your favorite audio podcast locations, not including, I should say, Pandora, because I'm still working on that. As well as check me out at BW Roses on Vimeo, and check me out at Patreon at BW Roses Brian Walmer to help support and expand the brand there. But again, let me know what your thoughts are. I do apologize if I sounded like I was a little tired or a little ramblish. I got enough sleep, but not as much as I was hoping for. So I'll probably take a nap in just a little bit to kind of rest up. But let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below, and I'll talk to y'all later.